So first, well, here we are. This is, of course, not about Michael Jackson, but I can tell you that here you feel really like Michael Jackson now with all the lights and so on. But first, of course, is welcome, and I want to thank everyone, especially all the people that has been organizing the event, because it is really complex to make an event like this. And also to thank especially you, all the people that is here. Thanks a lot, because this event is not possible without you. In this edition, we have 400 tickets, so 400 people will visit and will come to the conferences and the talks. So really, it has been a very, very, very big success. And also, I want to thank our keynotes. Here, we will have Cloudera, Hortonworks, the big companies that really are creating this technology. So really, we should thank them, because they are coming from the USA, from England, all around the globe. So thanks. The first question is, what is Big Data Spain? Or what and why? Well, really, it is just an effort to try to let the Spanish companies to know better big data. And why? Really, the reason is this. Big data is complex, but also there is a lot of hype and buzz and a lot of technical concepts and words and products. You have right now more than 200 products in the market about big data. And then it's confusing. Really, a big company doesn't know what to do with big data. And this was the reason that we create in the first edition Big Data Spain. We want to help the Spanish companies to understand big data, and especially to use big data, because we have been using it for several years, and we really know that there is a very big competitive advantage using big data. So really, the only reason for this event is to help you understand better and to clear or solve any doubt you can have, and help you to start using this technology, because really this technology is impressive. Also, Big Data Spain is open. It's completely open. All the organizations, the conferences, the keynotes, everything is decided by the communities. And this is also very important. It is not about one company doing some event. It is all about the community, the Spanish market. So I wanted here to let you know that you can present any white paper for the next year with a big data use case, and the communities will vote. And at the end, if it is selected, you will be here next year giving a talk, helping other companies how to do it, how you have done it, and then, well, to clear the path in some way. Also, Big Data Spain has grown. Really, you can see it here. Last year we were 200, and right now we are 400 with 2 tracks, 2 days. So really, it has grown more than 100%. This is also really very important, because it means that the expectations for big data still are growing. I mean, we are not in the deflection curve of this hype, if someone still could think it is a hype. So it still is growing, and the people is more and more interested about big data. And this is something we wanted to talk about in the introduction. Last year, maybe there was some doubt about big data is really important, it has advantages, or it is just trendy. It was that, I think it was for last year. This year, nobody doubt that really big data is something that will help you. The questions are how to use it. And I think this is something, a very big and very good evolution about big data. There is no doubt that you should be using it. The question is how to use it. So anyway, we are going to show some data about why to use it. The first one, no doubt, is the KPIs. And this is really good because everybody, especially here in Spain, thinks that big data is something very new and maybe 2-3 years. But really, it is quite an old technology. Well, it is not old, of course. But it has more than 10 years. So a lot of companies has been using big data. And thanks to it, we have some KPIs, we have numbers. And in these numbers that you can see, this is a McKinsey analysis. And you can see that the companies that have been using big data, of course, in a proper way, has a very big competitive advantage. Here you can see the revenue, of course. You can see that the companies that have been using big data has an increase, has grown more during 10 years than the companies that were not using big data. But especially you can see it in the EBITDA. You can see there, for example, in the insurance, for instance, in the insurance companies, how they have grown, the companies that were using big data have grown more than 3 times the rest of the companies, because it is 14 against 5, so it is 3 times faster they have grown. So really, this technology has clear advantages for the companies that are using it, and this is the main reason that the Spanish companies should start using it. This is something like a joke, but really it's not a joke. Really, one of the problems that big data is having is that the pressure right now, this year and next year, is so big. We have seen in some companies that the decision to use big data is coming top down. I mean, from the CEO to the technical staff or to the BI department. And so the pressure is really big. And we have seen, well, not a lot of companies, but several companies that really are not doing things about big data, but they have to say that yes, they are using it and even giving talks about how they are using big data. But really, it is because right now we have a lot of pressure, but very few companies in Spain are really using big data, really few. And if you are in one of those companies that are not using big data, well, you are not alone. But of course, we are going to see during these 2 days why you should start right now, not tomorrow, today, if possible. And this is, well, we always insist about this. This technology is amazing. You can do things that before were impossible. And to start doing it, you have to use it. You have to see the possibilities. And so our recommendation, and I will insist, is to fail fast. Fail fast, just try it. Fail fast and cheap, but start using it. This is our first recommendation, no doubt about that. Okay, my dilemma. Not my dilemma, the dilemma of everyone, I think, is this. Right now, this year, next year even more, we know we have to use big data, okay? But how important is it for me? Is it critical for my company? Or is it is not so critical? How do I start to use it? When? What technology? There is a lot of confusion about the technology, the products, and so on. And do I have the knowledge? Because my people doesn't understand, doesn't know. Big data is a disruptive technology, so it is complex to start using it. I will try to answer some of these questions. Okay, how important is it for me? Well, here you have the companies, the market there, and I will try it. Okay, we will center in this. You can see here volume, velocity, and variety. So red, it is that in that market segment, it is very hot. It is very, you have a lot of volume or velocity or variety of data. And orange is not so hot, moderate, low, very low. So you can look for your company or for your market here and see how hot it is for you. If you are in the banking, you are just there. So it is really hot. Sure, it is critical for you. You should start using it because you will get a lot of value from using big data because you have a lot of volume and also velocity of data, of course. All the transactions for the credit cards and so on. There you have a lot of data coming very fast to your systems. If you are in the media market, also, of course, it is quite red. Education, it is not so red, so it is not critical for the people that is in universities and so on. So this is other thing we want to make clear. Every day, big data is not for everyone, and not all market segments should use it, and not all companies. You should evaluate if you need to use it and how critical it is for you. But normally, you don't need, and this is a myth, a lot of volume to start using big data. Big data is giving value to companies with really very small volume of data. Because, for example, we are helping companies in the media segment that are small, but the variety of data is so big that only big data is able to analyze and to get some value from that data they have. Of course, all their articles, all the media test is unstructured data. Big data is the only way to process it. So forget about volume or forget about needed to have all these three. One of these is enough for start using big data and to make it critical for your company. So now my company, I have seen where my company is, and I have seen it is quite red or not. And then I should start using big data. But now I am in the marketing department, in the sales department, or should I worry about big data? Okay, here you can see especially where big data is being used. And marketing, of course, and we will see some examples for marketing. The key here is to go or to segment the market, not 1 to 10, just for every person, to make marketing directly to one person, specific persons. So people, operations, of course, sales, risk management, and of course, IT analytics. And a lot of companies are getting the control from the BI department. And this is good because they have the people there that is used to work with data. They are data scientists. So it is very good to start there in the IT analytics department. Finance, and you can see, okay, from 30 to this, the areas where you should start using big data. So now you know where you are, your company is, you are working in marketing, so you could start using it. And use cases. This is one of the biggest problems. Because, okay, I am convinced the technology is all right, it has a lot of advantages, but where to use it? That is the big question. You have to find a use case, a clear use case, where it will have some return, a clear ROI. So here there are some applications, and you can see search. Nobody thinks, when you think about big data, nobody thinks about search. But really, big data started from the search engine. So a very good and very easy way to start using big data is with the search engines. Searching in your documents, in your product catalogs, in all the unstructured data you have in the company. And this is really pretty easy. Also, of course, web mining, business intelligence, social. Well, here you can see the list, and it is quite long. But every company is different. So that you should do is to look for some clear use case. something that has value and is short, and you can do it really a quick win. This is that you should look for. So, what technology? This is the other big questions, because there are hundreds of products, and the technology is a bit complex. So, what should I use to start with this project, this big data project or proof of concept? Okay, we are in a crossroad now. You can see, and here I want to thank Google. Is one of our keynotes, and they start really inventing or creating or pushing the big data technology. But the technology is quite old, more than 10 years. So it has evolved. And now we can say that we are not any longer in the big data 1.0. And this is something that I wanted to explain and to make it clear. So what technology to use? This or this? Okay, here I'm not talking about Google. I'm talking about big data 1.0 or big data 2.0. Of course, you should start using big data 2.0. Even if you have some project, maybe you have built something with Hadoop or with this technology, big data 2.0 can execute anything with Hadoop MapReduce or the previous technology. So don't worry about that, but use big data 1.2.0. What is big data 2.0? Okay. As I said, big data is a bit old. Okay, 10 years is a lot in technology. So that we have tried, it was at the beginning it was used for batch processing, because you were having maybe 1 petabytes, 2 petabytes, whatever, or 50, and then you were crunching the data during the night or in 4 hours. So it was really batch processing. But the problem is that with time, the analysts wanted not only to do batch processing, but also interactive analysis. Why? Because this is that they were doing in their companies. And so they were used to make something interactive, to make some query or a report, and with the results, making other questions and make it in an interactive way. And this is the way they were working. So after 7 or 8 years, the big data companies, the companies that are creating the technology and the products, said, okay, our people is asking to work like they were working before with the data. So we should try to make it very fast, to make it interactive. And this is the evolution for big data 2.0. And this is some of the talks that we will see during these 2 days are focused on this. And the key is this one. Up to 100 times faster than the previous technology. And this is not 20% faster or 100% faster. It is 10,000% faster. I want to make it clear. So it means that if you were crunching these 2 petabytes or, well, I will not talk any longer about petabytes because this is another myth. In Europe, the big companies, it is really very seldom, it's strange to find a company with 1 petabyte. Especially in Spain. In Spain, we are working with really the biggest ones. You are around 200 terabytes. So don't think you need 1 petabyte to start using it. With terabytes, you can start to use it. So you have these 200 terabytes, and you want to crunch the data, and it was about 4 hours. So if you make the question, you cannot wait 4 hours. You should go to sleep or doing something and then come back to see what was the result. But if it is 100 times faster, then it will take 40 seconds or 30 seconds. So you can make the question, have the results, and make other question. And in this way, it is easier or pretty easy to find or to get really insights from that data and to get value from the data. And that is the reason that the goal for the Big Data 2.0 technology is this one. And everyone is repeating the same. We go for the 100 times faster. Also, well, here, this is something very curious. NoSql is not NoSql. It's not only SQL, but it was not very similar to the SQL language. Just to put an example, it was very difficult to make joins between tables and things that the analysts were really used to do. Well, the analysts and the developers and so on. So also, after 10 years using this, they say, okay, I will listen to my BI guy or to my developer guy, and if they want SQL, we are going to make it more like SQL. And this is other of the evolutions. In the NoSQL databases, we are able now to make joins and to make really complex things. So it is easier for the people to use the Big Data 2.0. And this is other of the reasons that when you choose the technology, you should go to Big Data 2.0, because it will be a lot easier for your people to work with this technology. Also, in the Strata conference, everybody was talking about in-memory systems. Big Data 1.0 was mainly writing in HDFS, in file systems, in disk. And this is slow. So now the evolution is to work in memory. And of course, you must work in memory if you want to go to 100 times faster. Well, Hadoop 2.0 is not working that way, but it is also going to the 100 times faster. So this is that we are going to see during these 2 days in the talks. All this technology, all this evolution, and how to use it. Really, it is impressive the things, really impressive the things you can do with this technology. Here you can see some of the talks that we will have about the NoSql, more SQL-like, and this is like a game of words. Data Stacks has the new version, the Cassandra 2.0 version, and they will talk, of course, about that. And here you can see a lot of 2.0s. This is the reason we are talking about the Big Data 2.0, because Hadoop also, well, of course, I wanted to thank to DataStax, is one of our sponsors. Cassandra is really a fantastic NoSQL database. Also, I wanted to thank Tengen, the people from Tengen. They are really doing amazing things with MongoDB. MongoDB is a very easy to use NoSQL database and quite powerful also. So they will talk about how to use it and why to use it. Also, a big evolution was Hadoop 2.0. I think everyone here knows that Hadoop 2.0 was launched during last month. And of course, the people from Hortonworks, the team, has been helping there, really making a very, very good work, and we wanted to thank them. And of course, they will talk about this, about Hadoop 2.0. So you can see here that really our keynotes, the companies that are giving the talks, these guys are the ones that are creating this technology. So really, they are the ones that could answer any question you have about big data, about the technology. Also, about interactive analysis, of course, Hortonworks has the Stinger initiative, this 100 times faster goal. Cloudera, I want to thank especially Cloudera. With Impala is really impressive. Okay, all the Cloudera platform is really making easier for the big companies to use big data, and I wanted to thank them especially. Mapper with Drill, this is one of the other initiatives that is looking for this goal, the 100 times faster and so on. And in-memory systems, this is like a buzzword now for big data. And in Stratio, the guys from Stratio will talk about in-memory systems integrations between Spark, which is an analytic or distributed processing engine in memory, integrating with Cassandra, and also Lucene. Lucene is a search engine, but it's not Lucene working on disk. It is working in memory. So it is a complete transformation for Lucene integrated with Cassandra also. So this is that we are going to see during these 2 days. The next question was, in the dilemma, this dilemma that we have, how to use it. Okay, this is quite easy to answer because we have data and we have seen projects really very big failures and very big successes. So we know how to start. Our recommendation, of course, you can go for the big bang. We are not saying, okay, if you go for big bang, it will sure be a disaster. No, okay, you can go. But everybody knows also that the bigger a project is, the more chances you have for the project to fail. So especially with this technology, our recommendation is go for something iterative and progressive. Just choose something with a clear ROI and very specific in time and in money so that it will allow you to fail fast and cheap. Okay, it is better if you don't fail, but if you have to fail, fail fast and very cheap. So choose something like this. And this is not something that we are saying, the data is saying this. There is a very good report that the US White House made last year about how to implement big data in the public services around the USA. And the conclusion was very clear. Go for something iterative and progressive, and don't do any big bang project because it can be a bit messy. This technology is very disruptive. So predictions. We here are going to get our crystal ball and see what's going to happen. And this is very dangerous because especially if it is in a paper, in a presentation, and in 10 years, someone will read this and will say, okay, you don't get anything right. It was all wrong. So that we have done is to take the predictions from IDC, other company, and IBM. The criteria to choose the companies is that they should start with an I, so IDC and IBM. No, just joking. Okay, this is clear. Decisions will be data-driven. Well, this is something pretty logical, but still the companies are not, mainly are not data-driven companies, especially in Spain. So you can choose or you can use big data to make your company more data-driven. And this is something very good, because sometimes the BI department is trying for this maybe for 5, 6 years, pushing, and now they have another chance to do it, because with this technology, like it is trendy, they can push the CEO and the company to be more data-driven, and this is good. Also, industries will be reordered based on data and analytics, and this is dangerous. For us, it is something like we have seen in the companies when they are doing a big data project, something very similar when they are doing this big bang big data project, something similar to what was happening with the ERPs when you were installing SAP or these really big ERPs. When you try to change a company, to change it to a data-driven company to make something very big, it is complex. And we are sure that we are going to see some companies' transformations with big projects that will look very similar to the ERP projects, and maybe 50% of the projects were failures. So be careful about this, because if you are going to make a really big transformation, it is better to do it very carefully. Also, of course, big data technologies will be the only way to work with all this data, and data will have to be governed. Now we only have laws for privacy. But if data is something like a natural resource, like gas or electricity or anything similar, really there will be more laws about data and also cross countries, because sometimes with the cloud, you have the data here now, but with the big data systems, you will have it in Ireland or England or the USA or other countries. So the data will be governed, and this is good and bad, because you will have some limitations. Also, the user experience will matter, of course. This is also a recommendation. It is really good to have 2 petabytes, well, sorry, 200 terabytes, and some few savvies working with it and crunching and having insights and so on. But it is a lot better to have hundreds of people working, because the user experience and the application is so easy that they can use it and to have insights from that data. So user experience matter, especially visualizations. Use new visualizations, because this is the way to get insights from some of the data that is very complex, with relations between data, with time and geospatial data also crossing, and so start using new ways to visualize the data. And this is other of the conferences that we will have during these 2 days, how to visualize or new ways to visualize the data. Owning the data. The companies that will have more data, maybe in 10 years, I don't know, will win. That is it. It is like the companies that will have more investment or more money. If you have data, you can make better decisions. So start storing and taking the data. New business models will emerge. Well, we are seeing this. And here we want to talk about machine-to-machine, Internet of Things. Every day, the products that the companies will launch will be more intelligent. They will connect one to each other. And so you will have more data. And to be able to process and to use all these products and services that can interconnect between them, this is really very important. And this is happening, but will happen even faster. And of course, businesses will target individuals, not markets. Forget about segments and so on. Go for the person, right? Right now, go for Antonio or for Nacho or for that person. So these were some of the predictions. Of course, we will fail in some of them. Notes of caution. Okay. First, it is not a silver bullet. You cannot use it for everything, and it will not solve your problems. After these 2 days, your company is not going to improve just because you have been here or you start using big data and so on. So don't think it will solve any problem, because it has a lot of advantages, but you have to use it in a proper way. Not everything is gold, and this is something like a myth also. Everyone is thinking, okay, I have a lot of data there, and so I have a gold mine. No, maybe you have a lot of data, but you have some of this data is meaningless data. So be careful about the data, what data are you going to exploit and to analyze and so on, because not all data will have insights and value intrinsic to that data. And of course, be very careful with the invasion of privacy. This is happening. And if you are using one thing that we have seen, just to put an example, is maybe you are anonymizing the data, and you cannot say this data is from Antonio. But if with this data, you can cross and say, okay, with this years old, this car, this, and so on, I can say it is Antonio if it is, even if the name is not written in the data or the DNA or whatever, then this is an invasion of privacy. And you should be very careful about that, what data you are storing, because if you can cross it, then you will have a problem. Data security. The more data you have, the more you should worry about that data, because any leakage or security problem with that data will throw to the market or to the open a lot of data with some data you don't want to be out. So this is other pretty important thing. If you start using the same applications, the same algorithms, one of the things that the companies are afraid about is that they will lose any analytical advantage. Just going to the limit, if all the companies use the same technology and the same algorithms, there is not any longer any competitive advantage. So you should also take care about that. So trust your team. The ultimate intelligence is in the people. And you should have really good people working with this technology, and this is key. So still, really, it is still an art to figure out what the right questions are. So have the proper people, and then start using this technology. And there is a question, a very important question about this. Should I hire new people to use this technology? People that already know this technology, or should I use some of the people that are working in my company? Okay, go for the second one. It is easier to teach someone about big data than to teach someone about your business and your company and how the people is working in your company. So go and train the people in your company for this technology. And sure, combine technologies. The bottom line is you should use the right technology. And here we are not talking about only big data. I mean, we are not talking if you have a data streaming, use real-time streaming analysis, or if you are batch or interactive use. No, we are talking now also about classical BI technology. You have to combine sometimes a relational database with a NoSql database. And this is the better way to do it. So combine technologies. Don't say, okay, everything is going to be big data. No, you have to use everything. And we have seen several big failures about this. Using NoSql for a very structured data is an error. It is better to combine something like a MySQL or Oracle with Cassandra or Mongo or whatever. So, recommendations. Big data is really exciting. Also, it is complex. But the biggest risk is to ignore it. And this is something that we are seeing in the Spanish market, to ignore it or just to watch what's going on, what the companies are doing, and don't do anything about this technology. So don't ignore it. This is the question. Are you already using big data? I think from maybe 400 or companies or 200 companies that we have here, less than 10% are really using big data here. And this is something that really worries us. And this is the real question we want to solve. Use a NoSql database. It is pretty easy, or some batch processing, whatever, but start using big data. So this is the real recommendation. Don't wait. Start today. Start using it. Don't be afraid. This is usually when you see this saying, well, it stops here. If you don't know where you want to go, okay, it doesn't matter which way you go. But really for us, the important part here is this. So long as I get somewhere, you are sure to do that if you only walk long enough. So start walking, move, do something. Because if you don't do anything, if you don't move, you will not go to anywhere. So the best way is start using it. Sure, you will fail, but when you start using it, you will have more questions. You will learn how to use it. And at the end, you will get somewhere. So start using it today. Ride the big data wave. This is it. Maybe some people was thinking, it is a wave, it will fall down and it will die in the beach, so why to worry about? Okay, it is not, it's more a tsunami than a wave, so if you are watching from the beach, the tsunami will go over you, and this is really not good. For this big data 2.0 evolution that we are, for us, it is something similar to the Web 2.0 concept. The Web 2.0 was something like a revolution, the people generating content, and so on, but also was something like a bluff because the companies didn't get a lot of value from the Web 2.0 evolution. But there were some companies that really use it pretty well. And here you can think about Amazon. Amazon started to use the comments of other users for the books or the opinions and so on. And really, those were the companies that really make a very good use of the Web 2.0 that had the success. So the question is, do you want to be Amazon or do you want to be one of the bookshops that closed? This is the question, okay? So just move, start using it, create the future. And I want to thanks again everyone that is here in our keynote. And the good news, I think this is by far, this will be the worst presentation that you will have during these 2 days. So thank you.